There's plenty for MCU fans to look forward to now that the full Phase 4 lineup has been revealed. Easily one of the most intriguing projects in the works is Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Not just a sequel to 2016's Doctor Strange, this movie will team Benedict Cumberbatch's Stephen Strange with Elizabeth Olsen's Scarlet Witch for an epic odyssey into the dark corners of the multiverse. The Marvel Multiverse. But what exactly is the Multiverse of Madness? We have some theories about what the title may be referring to and what villains and worlds may appear in the sequel.
The reality you know is one of many.
Unlike Age of Ultron or Civil War, the subtitle, In the Multiverse of Madness, isn't one that harkens back to an existing Marvel comic story. If anything, the title seems intended as an allusion to the work of horror writer H.P. Lovecraft and his famous novella, At the Mountains of Madness. Like many Lovecraft stories, At the Mountains of Madness deals with human protagonists becoming exposed to the true scope of the universe and being driven mad as a result. Marvel's multiverse does have its own dimension inspired by Lovecraft stories. The crossover realm of Kings introduced the Cancerverse, a horrific place where death doesn't exist and godlike multidimensional beings called the Many-Angled Ones have conquered everything. In the follow-up story, The Thanos Imperative, the Many-Angled Ones attempt to invade the Marvel Universe and continue their never-ending cycle of conquest and expansion. To do so, they rely on twisted versions of traditional Marvel heroes to act as emissaries and soldiers, including Lord Marvel and a team called the Revengers. Now, it's possible Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness will introduce the Cancerverse and pit both heroes against the Many-Angled Ones. If so, we could even see twisted versions of popular characters like Captain America, Iron Man, and Thor as villains. Now, it could also point to Shuma-Gorath as a major villain. Shuma-Gorath is a Lovecraftian monster with a long history in the Doctor Strange franchise, with Shuma-Gorath trying to use the Ancient One, or Stephen Strange himself, as vessels to enter the mortal world. In the Thanos Imperative, Shuma-Gorath was revealed to be one of the Many-Angled Ones. And because Shuma-Gorath is linked to dozens of worlds in the multiverse, this villain could be the key to opening up the barriers between worlds in the movie. In one particularly disturbing comic story arc, Doctor Strange defeated Shuma-Gorath only to find himself transforming into the new version of the villain. So, well, he committed suicide to stop the process, and was soon after resurrected by an ally. Watching Stephen Strange go mad as he finds himself turning into a tentacled terror from the multiverse certainly seems to line up with the subtitle. And maybe Scarlet Witch could be the ally who rescues him. Nightmare is a powerful villain who rules a realm known as the Dream Dimension. He's able to roam the dreams of mortals and draw psychic power from those dreams. He's also one of 7 Fear Lords, powerful demons who draw strength from the fears of mortals. Now, if Nightmare is indeed the villain of Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, it's possible the title isn't referring to a literal multiverse at all. Now, instead, it may focus on various imaginary worlds conjured up as Doctor Strange battles Nightmare in the Dream Dimension. All the while, Doctor Strange and Scarlet Witch may fight a losing battle to maintain their sanity against an opponent who feeds on their worst fears and darkest dreams. Regardless of whether the new movie actually delves into the fabric of the Marvel Multiverse or simply takes place in Nightmare's Dream Dimension, chances are we'll be seeing some dark, distorted versions of the MCU appear along the way. Now, given how much this sequel is being emphasized as the first true horror movie in the MCU, we'd expect some of these worlds to make Dormammu's Dark Dimension seem like a stroll in the park.
Pain's an old friend.
One possibility is a world inspired by the Marvel Zombies universe. In this universe, a devastating zombie plague has transformed nearly every single hero and villain into an undead monster, leaving only a handful of survivors like Magneto and the Black Panther to defend the dwindling human race. Another option is to introduce a world built around Marvel's various horror characters like Frankenstein, Werewolf by Night, Man-Thing, Ghost Rider, and the modern-day Howling Commandos. Now, this wouldn't necessarily preclude any of these characters from appearing in the regular MCU, but it would be an opportunity for Marvel to tackle some lesser-known characters who might otherwise not be high on the priority list. It could even be a way of introducing Mahershala Ali's Blade ahead of his solo movie. And finally, the movie could introduce worlds inspired by any number of dystopian future storylines in the Marvel Universe, such as Age of Ultron, Earth X, Incredible Hulk Future Imperfect, Thanos Wins, or Ruins. The options are practically unlimited. Unlike Doctor Strange and most other sorcerers, in the comics, Wanda never had to study the art of magic and develop her skills. She was just born with it, due to her mutant genes. Her powers are mostly instinctual, which means she doesn't truly understand the rules of magic or how to fully control her abilities. In the comics, Wanda's lack of control has caused some major headaches for her and her fellow Avengers. If she and Strange are thrust on a mission that tests their sanity, it's a safe bet that Wanda herself will become the most dangerous threat of all by the end. The fact that she nearly killed Thanos single-handedly in Avengers Endgame shows that she's potentially more powerful than even the Sorcerer Supreme. We also have to wonder if Chiwetel Ejiofor's Karl Mordo factors into the Strange-Wanda dynamic. While an ally to Strange for much of the original movie, Mordo ultimately broke ranks and dedicated himself to a new mission, ridding the world of any and all magicians he deems unworthy of magic. It's not hard to imagine Mordo having a major problem with an Avenger who wields magic as a superpower.
Because I see at long last what's wrong with the world. Too many sorcerers.
For more on Phase 4, check out Shang-Chi Explained and The Eternals Deviants Explained. And as always, be sure to subscribe to IGN wherever you like to watch.